Good morning. Good morning. It's the last Sunday of this new year. And I know some of you, like I've said before, some of you have fallen out with church, but do not let your fall out with the people who go to church make you judge the entire church, because the entire church is not flawed. Everybody is not crooked. There's not always pimps in the pulpit. There's a lot of ministry going on. There are churches out here that are helping people get housing. They are helping people get apartments and jobs and cars. There's a lot going on. You just have no idea. And because you only hear bits and pieces or you get sound bites, you have decided that everybody is the same. And guess who's really losing? You. I said it before and I'll say it again. Do not let people, I don't care how many people say it. Oh my gosh. I had somebody tell me it's a lot of people and it's a lot of stuff about to come out. Okay, so if it comes out, how does that help you? If somebody is crooked and it comes out, how does that hurt you? What does that change for you? Nobody said that you had to go to church and you had to or meet people and you got to just get naked and tell them everything, empty your bank account, lay down and do everything they say. I don't know where that comes in. I don't know that's why what we think about church. You always have a choice, period. Okay? If you go to some place and they don't give you a choice, you are in a cult, you need to run. But usually, somebody who has survived a cult, I can tell you, oh, excuse me, y'all. Some of my eyes are watering. But somebody who has survived a cult can tell you that's not how it works. Cults work much like an abusive relationship or abusive marriage. Cults begin, by saying all the right things, telling you everything you want to hear. And let me be honest, the reason people fall for a cult is because some of what they say has some truth to it. But some truth is not all truth, and half the truth is a whole lie. So that's the reason why cults even get the as far as they do, is because there is some truth to it. And they woo you in, and then the abuse is very subtle. You do not see it happening. All you know is, oh, yeah, they've done for me. Now let me give back. Even when you're not in a place to give back, the obligation, the pull, the manipulation makes you feel like you need to do it because they help you. And then when you need help after you've given so much, then they start to tell you something wrong with you. Everything you came in with, they start using against you. That's cult mentality. So when people call mega churches cults, honey, it's far from that. It's way too many people to control. Cults can only grow so far. If you are at a church and that church has had a building fund forever and it's like a recycle, people come, people go, people come, people go, you hear rumors, that's a time to leave because is not growing. It is not growing because it's a consistent cycle. And it's not stuff you hear in the headlines. It's stuff that you hear right there in the church. And it's consistent stories. And you start to go, wait a minute. But then there's always an explanation. And then it's always the devil. So I said all of it to say that every church is not the same. And don't let people tell you that it is. And don't let people tell you that organized religion is not. Honey, anything that you have, if you try to run a lemonade stand on the fly, you're going to have to organize it. If you try to have a garage sale, if you want to make any kind of money, if you want to make $100, you're going to have to organize it. There is nothing in this world that you can do that's not going to be organized. So, yes, the church is organized. Yes, you will see organization to it because otherwise it's chaos. So whenever you're so excited about people being exposed, ask yourself, how does that help you? When people talk about church and you get to and you get to jump in and say, "Oh yeah, that's why I don't go." But look at your life. How is that helping you? How does that benefit you? How does that make you grow? How does that improve your life? Everybody needs somebody. And the people who are all about the exposing, they are making money. They're doing the same thing you're accusing the church of. You just don't see it. But every time you look at it, every time you subscribe, every time you give them a voice, they make money off of you. So they make money off of you being miserable and you turning your back on what you believed all these years. Because ultimately, when you go to church, it's because you believe God. God is real. He is still yet reigns. He still yet sits on the throne, and none of that has changed. Just like anybody, people will distort and mess up anything, and church is no stranger. Church is no different. We always want church to be different, but it's still people. And whenever you deal with people, you're gonna deal with flaws. That's not to say that it's an excuse. That's to say that you need to grow up and you need to be real and you need to think about it. You got it? Everybody is flawed. Their job is flawed, but you still go there and make that money. It doesn't matter. All I'm telling you is that what you need to do is you need to find the word of God and you need to listen on this last Sunday. You need to find somebody you can hear. You need to make sure that you take yourself into the new year hearing the word of God and that you stop letting people you don't know say something. You go, "Oh, that makes sense." You can't follow them. They jump on to get a clickbait, to get a like, to follow, and they give you no information about your life. And now you're like, okay, well, I listened to them. It makes sense. And now you're sitting there alone, depressed, and don't know which way to go. Anything you follow that's not organized, it's not going to be able to sustain and grow you. Anything that's going to feed you has to be organized. It has to be thought out. It has to be planned. Because feeding somebody, just like a meal, just like Thanksgiving, a person that cooks Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner, we plan and we organize. We decide what we're going to cook first, what can stay in the refrigerator the longest, how much room we have for the food, where we going to put it up when we done. We do all of that. All of that we do because you got a plan. There is no time, even if you having chili dogs, you got a plan. You got to look in there and make sure, do I have hot dogs? Do I have hot dog buns? Or are we going to use bread? And you know these young people look like, what? We know that if you didn't have hot dog buns, you use bread and you didn't say anything. Not these kids. So I'm telling you, that without planning, nobody can feed you. You got a pop-up church and they come and they give you a word. Okay, cool. Now where do you go from there? Because a word from God has to be followed by more word from God because he will give you instructions and you need them daily. That's why it's called your daily bread. If you pop up and you get prayed for, you get delivered, how do you know what you were delivered from? What is your pattern? Why do you keep going back into it? Why do you keep finding yourself in need of deliverance? Because one touch from God will free you. But not if you're not learning anything. Not if you don't have any word for it to connect to and to build on. If all you got is excitement, if all you have is in the moment, you have nothing. And that's why you keep needing it over and over again. And that's why the touch doesn't last. Because that's only part of the gospel. That's only part of what you go for. The other part is to feed in you for the word to connect on the inside of you to help you not fall into the same patterns that required you to go and need that touch. There is no way that you can grow without structure, without strategy, without organization. So don't let people tell you that all organized church is religion. We are not all cults. We are not all evil. It's been your girl, Candid with Kim, delivering you a message on this last day of the new year because I love you and I want to see you grow. Find you somewhere to listen and to grow.